No, it's like an online Pictionary.
Multiplayer Pictionary. Yeah, you join online and then
There is multiplayer, Chetan.
that is true.
Hello, and welcome to the Good Content Show. So, this is episode 4. Yes, it is episode 4. I didn't know I'll survive this long. So, today is different because it's not just me, it's me and Chaitanya. And we are talking, and we are going to talk to somebody who powers, the deep technology behind good content creation, a video engineer.
I've not known her for a long time. In fact, I met her at a conference a little while ago, but Cos is meeting her for the first time.
Yeah, and I'm excited. So ask both of them, what does the typical video engineering day look like?
Typical day is always filled with, there'll be some amount of drama, there'll be some amount of fire, of course lots of work, bouts of very involved coding, bug fixing, troubleshooting, and despite everything we managed to make time for chai every day. The whole team, it's like a live wire experience every day because we are one of the biggest consumer facing OTT providers in India, right? So the any mistake or any issue that people see on Hotstar, like get it right away, right immediately in Twitter and Facebook and all these social media, it'll be amplified. Right? So our support teams actually face, sometimes they take Twitter snapshots of user feedback or complaints and then they paste it on our Slack channels and we are like, okay.
So Chetu, Aarti hasn't really been in media, digital tech for a long time, right?
So I guess she has been doing video engineering for a long time, but I guess this is her first foray into a B2C media, digital media company.
So it'll be interesting to ask her how has been the transition from B2B to consumer tech.
It's really like a roller coaster ride for me because before this, most of my work has been in B2B companies. Actually, it's not like a really customer facing company. It's my first role as well. We'll have frequent releases and hot fixes for releases, and there's like always this something or the other is going on at work, and yeah, you're learning lots every day, soaking up all that. We also get to talk to studio people sometimes, right? Look, because Hotstar right now also sources its own. There's this Hotstar Originals which has been released since last year. We are kind of producing some shows, getting original content. So we also have direct communication with the post-production teams, like what is the type of text that we want the content to be brought in and all that. It's very interesting actually. I'm getting to learn lots about multimedia every day. So yeah.
And media is, and especially with COVID and everything, there used to be the statement that content is king, and then people were like, well, that's boring, who says content is king? But it is, right? I mean, right now, that's all we are doing. We are all watching, listening, reading a lot of content. So you can't run away from the fact that media and media companies, it's almost like your infrastructure when people go remote and digital. Chaitanya or Chetu or Chai, whatever you want to call him. I've worked with him even before. Of course, we both work together at Kubrick, but also we're good friends. So he calls me boss sometimes for some strange reason. What is your typical day in Kubrick?
So just to give some context about what our company does, like at Kubrick, we are essentially trying to automate workflows of content creators, and we're trying to help them do less tedious work. So a lot of my day is trying to figure out from our app what are things that our customers are doing repeatedly and trying to figure out how we can automate those. That can manifest in different ways. For example, right now I'm trying to figure out how can we automate shadow generation of the content creation process. So a lot of e-commerce websites try to show images with drop shadows behind them. And that typically is a manual process where you have to figure out based on the product, how do you want to show the shadow? That is something I'm trying to automate. So it's a lot of image recognition, visual engineering, trying to figure out what looks good.
Because I'm a huge brand evangelist, I love experiences. And what I find interesting about nowadays is that its experiences are not just limited to like branding, but each content piece is almost an experience now. Otherwise, it doesn't stand out in the clutter.
I mean, I think new content and the content experiences that are available now, it's important to embrace those as a company who is building content for users. And I think second screens are sort of important. Like Toss was about to use a second screen. So I think even when you're consuming media, like when I am consuming media from the couch, I'm watching the TV, trying to consume a show. I often am curious about the people who are acting on the screen, curious about the places where it has been shot. So, for example, when I'm using Amazon Prime, they have this Fire TV app. So you can sort of see what is happening on the screen and you can get some interesting tidbits about other things. And I think it's important to capture attention, because if you are not showing that information and the user is curious, he'll go somewhere else and find that.
Yeah, like if you are boring, I'll just pick up my phone. I agree, which I don't, because you're never boring. But let's find out what Aarti thinks about all of this content experience.
Yeah, so after Disney, there is a conscious effort like to basically provide all these premium experiences that you get to watch on Netflix, on other top streaming platforms across the world. So of course in India, so with Disney Plus coming on board, we had to launch Disney Plus contents through Hotstar. So that was a call that was made, and of course we were using this opportunity to also come up with a lot of tech improvements to basically notch up our viewing experience overall, right? So to bring in all these premium features, because that's what you want to watch. All these Disney contents that we are getting are all like premium world-class contents. And yeah, so of course, and the experience also needs to match up with the content, right? So it's not just the content that you probably like to watch as a 360p smaller resolution. So we recently launched Dolby audio experience with Mandalorian and Dolby Vision, HDR plus 4K, and all these things that we want to basically get it in Hotstar also.
Experience plays a bigger part now more than ever, because with a lot of the live content production that's sort of like out of the picture, we don't know for how long. For example, Quibi recently launched, Meg Whitman's company, and they have a lot of interesting content. I'm sure they have done a bunch of work on the technology side, but their USP is the format. Change the way the content itself looks. It could be your MTV crib, or it could be your some other movie that you have seen somewhere else, but we are going to change the way it feels, right?
So we've been like quite active in developing lots of features for social. Basically, it's this application where you can watch the match as well as interact with your friends. You can chat. You can always have these stickers and logos and cheer for your team. And there is this trivia which keeps coming up, and you can answer. So it's basically, instead of just watching a spot as just mimicking your experience as from your TV to your mobile or your basically over the web. It's also about you can do much more than that, right? So you can actually rope in social into this and watch it along with your friends, share your comments, share your experience, and it's like, so that's really something that Hotstar has been experimenting very well.
At the scale that you guys are working at Hotstar, there are many things that you want to achieve, and then there are the constraints. There's like social experience. It's like the stadium that you want to sort of bring into an app. But then there are the constraints like this. How's been your experience over there? Or what are your thoughts on that?
Basically, in India, there is a jugaad to everything. So there is, especially to take the world of streaming as opposed to how players operate in other countries like North America, Europe, where from your basically your data rates, your telecom infrastructure, everything is like at a much higher. You have an advantage of everything. Your normal consumers are basically going to be getting better speeds. Usual broadband connection is 1 Gbps. So it's actually easier in certain terms, like to stream quality content in those geographies. But in India, it's not like that. If you see in India, most of the viewership is through mobile, not really through your LR or web or any of this. And people use cellular 2G, 3G connections, right? The constraints here are like very different from how it is elsewhere. So you have very limited data rates at the hands of your consumers. And how do you still get over it to serve them quality content How do you basically improve or make your tech scalable despite these constraints so that they also are experiencing certain of these features, right? So that's the challenge of actually working in Hotstar, I would say. So right now, will it be on AV1 or?
Yeah, so for some constrained bandwidth situations, they have rolled out this implementation.
Oh yeah, like that part. Honestly speaking, Chetu, I couldn't hear much of what you were trying to explain, so I didn't understand what's really AV1 and what were you trying to ask Aarti.
So AV1 is a video codec. It is an open video codec, if I'm not wrong. So what a video codec does is it tries to take uncompressed video and it tries to compress it so that it can actually be streamed over the internet. So what was interesting that week is that Google announced that Duo, their video calling app, is using AV1 in live video calls. And they mentioned that in their tests with a 30 kbps bandwidth, they showed like side-by-side rendering of what the final video would be. And it was like a night and day difference. And that's why I was talking about it.
Got it. So that was the interesting thing. So does it mean that all that stuff is coming into our live stream events now soon?
Yeah, I mean, in fact, I'm not sure about live streams, but I know that Netflix, for instance, is doing AV1 encoding, pursuing it very strongly for their streaming content. In fact, in Demuxed, where I met Aarti, Netflix had a whole presentation with two engineers. They were showing off their implementation of AV1. And in fact, one interesting thing that I gathered from that conference talk was that there is this video noise that a camera captures. So like when directors use a certain camera, it produces a certain kind of distinctive noise in the video.
Oh,
and
like signature.
Yeah, it looks distinctive. And if you are a video nerd, like a director or some photography nerd, if you look at the video, you can tell that it was shot from this camera. And so the problem that they were having was that noise essentially is a form, when it is part of the video, it increases the bandwidth that it occupies. So you need a lot more bandwidth to stream that content with the noise. But when you encode it with AV1, it would remove the noise digitally. And so the directors were complaining that it did not look like the original piece that they had shot. And so then they had to go back and digitally add back the noise.
Personal problems.
I've been here for the last 1.5 years only. In this 1.5 years, I can see a tremendous shift in 2 IPLs. Basically, I was there for 2 IPLs.
Yeah.
People have been trying out completely different things in every match. It's obviously not very apparent at all to the end user who's watching it. People only basically can know whether their experience is better, whether the buffering has reduced, pixelations have reduced, quality is better. So that is the only thing that the users would know. But internally, there are like 100 new knobs, right, that you play around with to get the stream out. There are like multiple stops in this workflow.
For me, live stream, I realize it's somebody giving a discourse. You're not interacting. In a concert, it's different. When you're live there at an event, you have all your friends or people around, the energy. You can't get that energy on a video call, no matter what, right? How do you bring the energy of a live event on a live call? But I think I was wondering, Chair, to answer your
I think actually it depends also a lot on the host and who is running the show, because so I am coming at this from the perspective of there was this live event that happened a couple of weeks back, which was this guy Tanmay Bhatt, I don't know, he was doing like a 2-day live stream with a bunch of different comedians, and so he was running a bunch of things through that, which is he was doing live gaming, he was doing comedy stand-up, he was doing roasts, he was doing Scribble games and like everything. So, and
doing Scribble.
Version of Scrabble?
Oh, no, it's like an online Pictionary.
Okay.
Multiplayer Pictionary, yeah. So online, you join online and then...
There is multiplayer, Chetan.
That is true. Essentially, it felt to me like just watching that stream and with the YouTube chat and like everything that was happening in the chat and the way he was like picking up the comments and then incorporating whatever was happening into the stream. I think a lot of it felt like that we were there in the actual set while he's performing. So I think a lot of it also is performers adapting to the medium and understanding what they can take advantage of and how they can incorporate their own things with it.
So yeah, that was an interesting conversation that day, right? But we ran a little bit out of time because Chetu took a long time explaining about Tanmay.
My bad.
But worth it, I guess. But you'll meet us both again back next week. We'll have part 2 of this conversation with Aarti. Absolutely. And see you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Chaitanya, do you remember we had all this like philosophical arguments about licensing, right?
What copyright is in today's world.
They make a living out of making just the reaction videos.
My niece and nephew are keep talking about it. I have a question, they have an answer, they have an adios, and then they have a walkout.
TikTok videos right now are what, 10 seconds?
You got me at Game of Thrones.